Hello, everyone. So, I wanted to kind of come on here and ramble about myself for a little bit. Now, I just got back from a 6-month hiatus, so bear with me, we're a bit shaky, but we roll anyway. Regardless, welcome back, and for those new, welcome. Today, I'm going to kind of introduce myself, overshare a ton, talk about my views on the world, and perhaps even more. Now, I kind of need an outlet to do this, especially since I tend to reflexively talk about myself a lot and I'm trying to work on that, so why not channel it into a video? Honestly, this video was kind of needed in a way since I've always kind of wanted to introduce myself completely. Without further ado, let's begin! Alrighty, time to overshare in the process of introducing myself in more detail than necessary. You can call me Lake, Crystal, Moth, V, whatever. I'm turning 20 in April, and I go by any and all pronouns, with my favorite sets being they, them, a, air, and stars. Don't worry about misgendering me though, you literally can't even if you tried. I'm autistic, and my special interest is Five Nights at Freddy's. Other interests include Sailor Moon, Fallout, Evangelion, Dark Deception, 123 Slaughter Me Street, and more. I'm an enjoyer of 2010's indie mascot games, nature, particularly flowers and Merrimack lakes, and I take a heavy interest in the hows and whys of human psychology, as well as social studies and the humanities as a whole. I am a lesbian on the asexual spectrum, and my gender is paradoxically everything and nothing simultaneously, but I just call it non-binary for simplicity's sake. To get even stranger, I identify as alterhuman, specifically otherkin, with my kin types being demonkin and fallen angelkin. I've been around the internet for most of my life, starting at the age of 4, and I've had one hell of a journey over these 16 years online, but as of late, I've been getting out and working with my community more. My overall style is very colorful, and I like brightly colored, cohesive, nostalgic clothing that doesn't show much skin if any. In fact, the outfit I portray my Sona in is the same outfit I wear every single day. I have 2 pets I love dearly, and I enjoy doing research on numerous subjects, including alterhuman history. I also like history in general, alternate history, social studies, dress-up games, and more. Honestly, it's good to finally be formally introducing myself in this much detail, and hey, I might as well. Fun fact about myself, I have a medallion of Lake I made out of Crayola model magic and acrylic paint. I added my own touches in the form of a candy necklace string, but I still love it dearly. It disappeared for a couple of months and reappeared to me in early February, so safe to say I've been wearing it consistently since. Next, we will be moving on to the meat and potatoes behind my journey across the internet. Oh boy, it's been a ride. I will first start by saying that this is sort of a cautionary tale on why you shouldn't let your kids online unsupervised, and kind of go year by year on how my journey played out. I first joined the internet when I was 4 years old, mostly just watching car stuff and playset videos, and as I grew, I got more interested in things like My Little Pony and Minecraft. Unfortunately, I stumbled across some pretty awful content at an early age, and that changed the trajectory of my life for a solid decade. You need to remember that the internet was a lot less baby-gated and filtered off than it is today, so there was bound to be horrible things waiting for a youngin' like me to stumble upon. I joined YouTube at 8 in November 2014, and from there, I began making videos. I mostly started off with Animal Jam and Facecam videos, but my parents and grandparents very quickly caught on and unsuccessfully tried to ban me from social media. Honestly, knowing what I would get myself into later on, paired with my terrible home life at the time, there's a chance that this would have been for the better. Honestly, things took a turn when I was 11 when I joined DeviantArt. Now, DeviantArt wasn't the problem itself, it was the crowd I ran into there. From there, I was introduced to Discord, and I think you can see where that spiraled from there. Honestly, this kicked off a whole saga, which I'll get into as I go. Things continued from there until I was kicked out of this group and even threatened with the police by the group owner at the age of 13, which, huh? Honestly, that group was terrible, but honestly, the next one, with possibly the worst name I could have ever come up with for a group chat, was arguably one of the most formative and cursed group chats I have ever been in. Now, as 2020 progressed, I kind of ended up going completely insane late into the year, which led to me adopting actual fascist ideas for a little while at one point. I was confronted on not only the deplorable stuff I would do there, as well as the ideas, a few days before the new year, but it didn't end there. I ended up getting targeted, harassed, and cyberstalked for around a year by these people, and while many of them have apologized to me for it, the main guy and I haven't spoken since 2021, and I want nothing to do with him. In 2022, I ended up running into another kerfuffle, this time involving the moderation team of a Sun X Moon server, which I won't be getting into here. I ended up joining a platform called Eversky shortly before this all began, and I started playing shortly after it all started. Now, you gotta remember that Everskies is dress-up Twitter on steroids. Very volatile, but also very progressive. So I ended up unlearning a lot of my older views from there and adopted better ones, and through the non-human community there, I discovered my alter humanity and kind of cemented myself in that community's history in the process. The same cycle repeats with different variables until 2024 when it comes to Discord, and I end up going through a lot of things throughout 2024 and 2025 I will not disclose publicly, which led to me permanently quitting Discord in August. Right now, I'm just trying to make whatever comes to my mind, loosen up a little, and maybe gain my independence in the process. I've decided to step away from most social media platforms, only using some for activism and to talk to people. I'm currently in the process of coding my own website through NeoCities, and I've joined a local community organization, and I'm contributing there as well. Speaking of activism, I'd like to discuss my views on the world. Honestly, this is probably going to be super obvious to you, but I'm pretty progressive. I don't describe a specific label to my political leaning, but I do know that I do definitely lean left. I've had a lot of viewpoints and influences throughout the years, and I've decided that these were the principles and values that resonated with me the most. I value community care, safety, liberty, and justice for all, and I strongly believe in stuff like providing housing and food to those in need, providing mutual aid, ensuring safety and freedom for those from all walks of life, and more. I believe in a better world where we can actually afford things, where we can actually come together in our communities and resist the forces trying to break us apart. I am also COVID conscious, and I wear a mask in most, if not all, public spaces. I highly encourage those listening to do so as well, and one of these days I plan on making a persuasive video on why that's a good idea. Aside from that, though, I'd like to get more into my values. I do not like the current regime, and I strongly condemn the actions of ICE and the US government since 2025. I waver between hope and despair so often that it's hard to maintain the energy to resist, but I found my little ways of doing so, and I hope you guys can too. I plan on talking more about my views in different videos, and honestly, as much as I'm one of those everything is political motherfuckers, I also recognize that we need to find alternative ways to convince the public, and I seek to do so in my more political videos. For now, though, that's enough about my political views. It's time to talk a little bit about my interests. Now, I want to pivot away from all that and talk about my actual interests. Now, as established previously, my special interest is Five Nights at Freddy's, and I've been a fan of the franchise since October 2014. Expect me to ramble about FNAF regularly whenever I get the chance. Now, FNAF is extremely influential in my work, and other interests and artistic influences include Sailor Moon, Fallout, Vivzy Pop's Helliverse, Evangelion, and more. Honestly, I have mixed feelings on the Helliverse, but everything else I love dearly. Sailor Moon and Fallout have been influential to me since around 2017 and 2018 respectively, and I particularly love the ideas of magical girls and post-apocalyptic storytelling. Another interest I have is Dark Deception, and at this point I'm just letting Glowstick Entertainment cook. I can tell this is taking a lot of effort to do, and they're going to be better off for it once Chapter 5 releases. Another game I absolutely love is 123 Sodomy Street, and I've hyperfixated it on and off since 2017. Aside from games and media I like, I think it's also worthy to note that I like many academic and research-based subjects as well, such as psychology, sociology, allozoanthropology, aka the study of alterhumans, history, alternate history, Merrimictic Lakes, and more. Honestly, a lot of my time is dedicated to learning new things, and I love absorbing knowledge. Honestly, I can't wait to discuss some of these interests in future videos, and I can't wait to see you all watch me ramble. Anyways, that's enough out of me. I'd like to get to our conclusion now. Overall, I am a very eccentric person, to say the least, even down to the medallion, which, I know, freaky. Honestly, I'm glad to be talking about myself today, and honestly, I won't be surprised if I lose subscribers from this video, but we ball anyway. Now you know a little more about me, and hell, we may even have something in common. I'm going to end the video here since I don't know what else to ramble about, honestly, and I don't want to overshare too much beyond what I already have. Hope this video served as informational to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!